Hi, everybody. This is Patricia, and these are the Wizards of Ox. We are your senior moderator team, and we work every day trying to bring you the latest in science so that you understand your own process of lowering oxalate. One of the things that we've been seeing in the group is a lot of comments on people's choices. And we have put in the rules that we shouldn't comment on those things. And the reason why we're doing it, and the reason why we want to come as a group and explain it to you, is the fact that everybody's coming from very, very, very different circumstances. So in the group, whatever the wizards agree on talking about something, you're going to see that we're always very, very careful about this is a good idea, except in these circumstances, or this is a bad idea, except in those circumstances, because nobody is coming into this group with a simple situation. And that is a fact. Many people have come after visiting many diets, many doctors, many different types of supplements and medications and things like that. And we have some very, very complex cases. And because of that, we have to be very, very careful with what we say and how we say it. The other comment that I just wanted to say is to make sure that you realize that oxalate as a toxin causes inflammation, and inflammation makes us grumpy. And so this is a group with 56,000 grumpy people, probably. And that's not a recipe for very joyful and easy and smooth relationships. But if we become aware of that, and we just realize that we might not be answering at our best time, or maybe we're dumping, or we're not feeling well, and our, like a little fuse is getting shorter and shorter, just being aware of that fact is going to help us keep the tone of the group a little softer. And I think that's going to be really, really important. Some of the examples that we're going to be sharing now, this is going to be a very short video, is, for example, somebody was mentioning, I need recipes on a microwave. And the group just went, no, you cannot cook on a microwave. It's terrible for you, whatever. The reason this particular person was asking is because he had mobility problems and could not physically move away into the kitchen. So, sometimes we have to make choices that might not be the ideal ones, but it's just what we have available. It's the same, with people that choose for whatever reason to follow a certain regime. Some of us have kids on the spectrum, and gluten is an issue, but also casein, the protein in milk, can be an issue. For some other people, it's their life. All that lovely dairy is it's what makes the bulk of their food. Some kids can't handle it. So we're just asking you for a little bit of understanding where we're coming from, why we say the things the way we say it, and also of understanding of yourself and realizing if you are at your best to be able to answer to something. And the rule, I guess, that we want to ask you to follow is that you maybe critique the opinion, but not the person. I think that's the biggest thing. Science is all about discussion, comparing and contrasting things so that we can get closer to something that works. But criticizing somebody's choices, that's not allowed in this group. And I hope you understand.
So I'm going to pick up next and say, what we want everyone to recognize is that there is no one size fits all here. So we have people who come from different financial circumstances, different cultural circumstances, different health circumstances. And all those things matter. So they're making choices within that context, which may not be the same context as what you make choices in. So offering opinions is great. Offering personal experience is great. But this is not a group where we are talking about the mythical ideal diet. We are talking about how to eat in a low oxalate way and how to support your health with better choices and potentially with supplements. But this is not the kind of situation where there is just one answer that works for everybody. That's not going to work on a group this size. The other thing that we really want to encourage you regarding is when you are asking questions, what you're looking for is the best from us. And that's what we want to give you, is the best from us. So to the extent that the group functions with as little difficulty and as little conflict as possible, we are more able to keep our focus on what delivers the best information and the best value to all of our group members. That's important to us. I'm sure it's important to you. So we want you to consider when you read something on the group, don't take it personally. The way someone is speaking, and Patricia's alluded to this to some degree already, could be related to how unwell they feel today, the fact that their spouse yelled at them in the morning, their dog peed on the rug, like be all kinds of things that are making people be in a different place than you are. To the extent that you can read something and not take it personally, this is ideal. And to the extent we can ask questions for clarification, and again, back to what Patricia said, not criticize the person, that gives us all a chance to give each other our best. So it's not just us as the admin team or our moderators who are hoping to have the most availability for the right kinds of activities. I think it helps all of us. We're not using up our energy on things that don't deliver us a lot of value.
The one thing that I would add is that, again, this is not one size fits all. And that is truly the beauty of this diet. You can be low oxalate carnivore, vegan, vegetarian, gluten and casein free, low FODMAP, low salicylate, low histamine, GAPS, you name it, specific carbohydrate diet. You can lower oxalate from all of those diets, or you can just be the standard, Western diet. Meat and potatoes, okay, so maybe you have to cut back on the potatoes a little bit, but you can do it. This diet provides that flexibility, and our goal is to help you where you're at. My personal goal is not to tell you you can't do a vegan diet or you can't do a carnivore diet. They may not be my choices, but that's fine. They don't have to be. And my goal is to help you lower oxalate safely from whatever diet you do. No judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to add something, Susan?
I would. I would just like to say that, our project's 18 years old. And during those years, have we all, become different? I mean, we've gone from being pretty young, and some of us are getting older, like I'm already Medicare age. And so I want to say that the Susan that had experiences 15 years ago with what I was doing with my diet or whatever, or the supplements that I was taking or the combinations that I was using, is not the same Susan as now. And so even if it were just me giving advice to myself, I could not take today's Susan and layer it on, 15 years ago Susan. So just please remember that each one of us is in a different place in, where we're doing things. And, I have learned and relearned and had to rethink a lot of things and find new scientific findings. And, during 18 years, there's a lot of new scientific findings that come out. So I really would like to avoid the use of opinion, because we don't care what your opinion is, really, in a sense. What we want is your experience. Like if you tried this and you had a bad experience, then maybe we want to hear about it. But the thing that qualifies you on this group is not expertise. What qualifies you on this group is your experience with lowering oxalate. And I know there's some people that kind of have a hard time with that because they're used to thinking, that people, what they want is to be told what to do. And I don't know that there are very many people in our group that really want to be told what to do. And so just think about that. It's a difference in point of view and communication. Because if you are communicating to somebody that you're trying to be their expert, then they're going to resist. If you just share your experience, then that's really valuable. And most of the controversies that we deal with as moderators and administrators on the group, most of the time-consuming stuff is that when people have tried to step out of one role and get into a role which was not really appropriate for them to be in. And I don't know if anybody else wants to clarify on that one, but it just seems to me that most of the big controversies are when people are stepping out of the I'm sharing my experience and turning it into something else.
And that's a really good lead into the issue with people who are perhaps practitioners and think that they are, somehow specially suited to give advice on the group. You are looking at 4 practitioners here, and we avoid giving advice on the group. We are very measured. We use science, links to science to demonstrate if we do have an opinion on something. We are not telling everybody on the group exactly what they should be doing. So we are hoping that practitioners will come to this group and learn with us, maybe even participate in the moderation of the group so that they can learn more and stick, especially in the first few months when you're on this group, with learning what there is to learn about oxalate. It is a big field, and there's a lot of information that we provide. And the more you learn, the more you can heal your own conditions, and the more suitable it might be for you to be able to help others. But we want to handle that in a very, very careful way on the group so that we're focused on the best possible information at the time, and also that we are not going into the area where we are telling other people what to do. That's a really nuanced kind of distinction, but we're looking for adults to play in that kind of way with some nuanced approach. So we love when you share research links as something which may support the kind of experience that you had, as long as we're not necessarily telling other people what they need to do.
And I want to clarify that when we talk about research links, we're talking about peer-reviewed articles. We're not talking about Joe Blow's website. You know, even if Joe Blow has 14 doctorates, you know, it's like that is not what we're talking about, because oxalate is such a specialized and brand new field as far as looking at how oxalate functions in outside the kidney. There's a lot of research on the kidney, and a lot of doctors have been trained on that, but they have not been trained on how oxalate functions in the rest of the body. And I'm on my 18th year on this, and I still think I'm just learning. And so that's like an attitude thing. If you think because you've been doing something for 6 months that you've become an expert, well, let me tell you quite gently that you're not an expert if you've only been doing it for 6 months. A lot of us, I mean, we're the four of us are parents, right? And how much did we learn as we watched how our children changed through the years? And I mean, I personally think that you don't know anything until you've done it about 5 years. So please don't come on our group and think because you read somebody's website or you read somebody's book or something like that, that qualifies you for becoming the expert. Because what qualifies you on our group is your own experience reducing oxalates in your own life. That's what qualifies you.
And
So a healthy group, a happy group, a group that's focused on delivering best quality to each other. That's the kind of group that we're trying to build here. A group where we can foster discussion, a group where we can all learn. That's what we're after. That's what we hope you're after as well.
Absolutely.
So with that, this is just a short Wizards of Ox video, which is really mostly for our triangle oxalate support groups. We are glad you're with us. We are glad you're learning. We are looking forward to interacting with you in all these wonderful and positive ways that we've all been able to do for more than 15 years, because the newbies here have 15 years. And we will be around those groups. So if you see us, tag us. If you need us, tag us. If you have some interesting things to discuss, feel free to post. We're looking over questions and answering them every day. And we'll see you on the groups.
Yeah, the science is evolving, and we're finding out so many things that I think are going to help not only the people in this group, but the world, literally. I think it's a key to many things. And, you know, some of the research that we're doing is just mind-boggling, and we can't wait to share it with you.
Yeah, our group is where it is. It's where you want to be. So come along with us on a journey that can be so positive and so helpful to you, to your families, to your friends. That's why we're here, because we found that. Last word to Susan.
Oh, well, I'm just so thankful because, you know, none of us could have ever imagined that we would be learning things, and that the science would be changing, and that we would be changing with the science as more science comes out. And, you know, we always want to be on the cutting edge. And so we're glad that you're with us, and we're just glad that that we're doing this journey together.